There we go.
My social security number is...
No, stop. We can't keep making that joke. It's been 5 years.
Wait, why am I on... Hold on. Wait.
They can't see you.
Why am I on the screen?
They can't see
Why
you.
am I on the screen
They
twice?
can't see you.
Why
it's
is
Discord's
confusing
stupid
me?
new overlay thing. I don't know how to make it go away. They can't see you on the live stream, though.
I was about to say, I'm like, bitch, why am I...
Why face?
Me?
Why his face? No, they can't see the Discord overlay.
I'm being doxxed.
They can't see the Discord overlay. I can't move you
sure?
either. Hopefully you're not going to be in the way of anything.
Are you sure? What if you're doxing me?
I'm literally looking at what is being live streamed right now. It is not your face.
Alright. I see how it is.
I love how because of my misclick, we just constantly have Turnabout Big Top here.
It will always be haunting us. Oh, there's no in-game sound.
Oh, there's not? For you?
I cannot hear the text scroll.
Really? I can.
I could hear the music, which was odd.
Oh, maybe it's just quiet. Did you hear the boop?
Nope, can't hear in-game text, or the in-game sound.
But can you hear the music right now?
Nope.
What? But you can hear me.
I can hear the music in the like, menu.
Beginning part? That's weird.
Oh, never mind. For some reason... What the hell? For some reason, my sound just went super low.
Oh, okay. Good, I'm about to say, it's you, not me.
Alright, alright.
You were on guard.
Yeah, Alright. Adrian did it?
That's what it looks like.
Dude, no way. That woman couldn't do anything like that.
In court today, there'll be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you.
A mountain of evidence?
I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you.
Please, Mr. Lawyer. Dude, like I said yesterday. I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright?
God, I love this idiot.
I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. He is certainly a character.
He is. I understand. I think
it was question mark. Let's just assume it's Edgeworth for a moment. Well, wait, shit, what was my Edgeworth
voice? What's Edgeworth's voice?
Well, it's almost time.
Oh, no.
Nope, it's Maya. Oh, Mia. Shit, their names are too similar.
I forgot that Maya's kidnapped.
Oh yeah, you forgot she's locked in the basement somewhere?
I guess that answers the question I did for the live stream post. Why is Phoenix still sad? Because Maya is kidnapped.
We must get a complete acquittal today.
I know. But I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day.
Indeed. Well, let's get going.
It's the killer!
It's the killer.
It's him!
Oh
god, what was the killer's voice? It was like Bane, right?
It was over the radio. It was like Bane. Oh, in person, it was like intimidating British man.
This is right.
Good morning. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of trial.
I hope this is, like, understandable.
It is.
Maya, she's unharmed, right?
Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall we say, tired.
Because you haven't given her any fucking food.
Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial.
Yeah!
For my sake, as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning.
Present?
A bomb!
What in the world would you want to give me?
You'll figure it out once the trial starts, and even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win today's contest, if you please.
Wait! I'm really
shit.
curious.
Hold on, I was like, what prison are you talking about? I was like, oh yeah, I remember.
Oh god. The kidnapper sent me a present?
Mr. Lawyer Dude? Who was that?
No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. I forgot that he knows the killer.
I
That
recognize the
fucking
name.
name. He knows the killer's name. Yeah, which is something.
Dude, did your nose just get longer? Okay, Pinocchio looking ass.
Pinocchio ass.
Hey, where's Von Karma?
Yeah, true.
Hey, where is she?
Where is she?
Hey, where's Von Karma? Hey, wonder what that present the killer sent was.
The present is removing Von Karma from existence.
Court is now in trial for the session of Matt on Guard. Are the prosecution and defense ready?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is not here.
The prosecution is not fucking here.
Von Karma has been fucking murdered.
Why is it my fault?
I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma?
I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? You be random bailiff.
I'll be running bailiff. Your Honor! Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman.
What? They shot
Yep.
her?
Yep.
That's the present? They fucking shot the prosecutor?
Yep. Now she has a bullet in her shoulder just like Papa.
Oh my god.
What?
Shot?
Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about.
His present?
Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage.
This is totally insane. But Miss Von Karma, is she alright?
I don't have that. I don't have that answer.
This is Edgeworth, I'm guessing.
I believe this is the boy. She's alive and in stable condition. That's good. Phew. You're
I thought he'd show up.
the boy.
Why is he on the witness stand?
He would. I don't know. He's dramatic entrance. Your Honor. Due to the circumstances, Miss Francisca Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Miles Edgeworth, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally.
Why are you still on the witness stand?
He's vibing. Don't,
He's vibing.
don't worry about it.
There we go. Nah, that's the familiar
boy.
sprite!
There we go. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Don't leave the bullet in so she can match with her dad.
No, they took that out of his shoulder.
Luckily, I have looked this case over fuck, I hate that. Luckily, I have looked this case over and am familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Ungard. The court acknowledges the prosecution.
This sounds like fucking Pokemon Emerald music.
It really does. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. By the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. I'm in love with you.
I'm in love with you. This is just a very, very long love confession.
Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. The boy.
The boy.
I love you, Gumshoe. I would die for you, Gumshoe. Witness your name and occupation.
My name's... God, what was Gumshoe's voice? It changes every fucking time.
How? I don't understand how you have so much trouble remembering what the fuck Gumshoe's voice is.
It's because... My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective
There you go.
down at the precinct for now.
Into him. For now.
After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir. Detective Gumshoe?
The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe. Using his full name.
Yes, sir!
Now, let's have your testimony.
Is his legal name Richard or Dick?
I think it's Dick. I think his legal name is Detective.
It's Detective.
That's why his name's Dick Gumshoe, because those both mean detective.
True.
If we want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very tough fight. Rough, not tough. I can't read.
Rough is a very different meaning for, Phoenix and Edgeworth.
Shut up!
Listen, I must make innuendos whenever I can with these two idiots. Because they're not gonna do it themselves.
No sex.
No sex.
Illegal.
Illegal. Yeah, I would have to be with Edgeworth as my opponent. The answer he was struggling for. Interesting. Listen, I am just reading the text on the screen.
Shut up.
Show me this answer. You finally found Edgeworth. There are two mini quotation marks. Oh, God.
I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
What?
I don't know. Just give me that vibe.
What is that from?
You don't know that I'll take a potato
Oh,
chip
no,
and
no,
eat
right.
it
That's
line?
that Death Note, right. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, bitch, do you not
It took me a
fucking
second.
know?
This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Carita, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. Well, no shit. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
Oh, really? I just took like the biggest bite of cheesecake in existence. Hold on. After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room.
Yes, sir. Both the victim and defendant went alone to their room, sir.
I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. What do you mean he was... maybe he stabbed himself in the chest with that knife. You don't know.
Yep. Alright, I'm just gonna immediately go... Yeah, press on this, which is like... The cause of death. Wasn't that because Mr. Carita was stabbed in the chest? Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now, real pro's attention will be drawn here to this bandana. Nope.
Banana.
His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir.
Ah, yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana. Shut up, Judge.
Then what about the knife? It seems to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death.
We have a crafty murderer on our hands. Here.
I'll talk to the airport.
Can't wait for that shit to get updated.
And why did you think that? Because it was empty, pal. The jamming engine doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere at the scene of the crime.
Oh, then how about this
Oh
theory?
God, Judge.
The game theory. A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that?
We thought of that too, but...
But?
The only fingerprints on the guitar case were the victims.
Only the victims, huh?
They wore gloves. I see. So much for my theory, then.
What convinced you it had nothing to do with the case?
The guitar wasn't at the Gatewater Hotel that night.
Well then, where was it?
The bright red guitar was eventually found at the TV studio. The victim, Juan Carita, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir.
So you mean he forgot to put the guitar inside the case?
Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar.
So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel.
Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all. That's not incredibly fucking suspicious to anyone?
Yeah.
You can hide so much shit in a guitar case.
Yeah, especially, like, the amount of times Maya was like, oh yeah, he's identifiable by his bright red guitar. The fact that he forgot it at a huge awards ceremony? Sus.
Okay.
I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why, then, did the police arrest Matt Ungard?
Listen, Edgeworth absolutely has, like, ulterior motives here.
Ulterior motive. Sorry. Because there was reason enough to suspect him.
Here it comes. Looks like Edgeworth's back in full swing.
Very well. Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter.
Yes, sir.
If the thing is, if their only motive is their rivalry, there's a lot of rivalries, like, that don't end in murder. I feel like that's not a very solid reasoning.
Matt Ungard and Juan Carita were huge rivals with each other. They each thought the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's the Gem and Ninjas button. It was ripped off the ninja costume and was found in Matt Ungard's Hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder.
So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing.
It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir. And there's this button.
Sorry. That was found in the defendant's clothes, wasn't it? And this button is also covered in blood?
Yes, and we know that the blood on it is the victim's blood, sir.
What?
All this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it?
Wait a second. If he was strangled to death and then stabbed, his heart would have stopped. There wouldn't be that much blood.
Maybe he was stabbed and strangled, you know?
Well, no, the autopsy report says strangled to death and then stabbed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if it was right after...
I mean, I guess, yeah, there would still be blood.
Yes, yes, it certainly... I can't read. Third time's a charm. Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, right?
This cocky bitch is back!
Yeah, baby!
I'll find the hole in your argument somehow! I am just reading
no.
the lines!
No. Hole.
Oh.
You ruined me, Sarah. You can press shut up.
Why?
Uh. Alright, I gotta stop fucking laughing. Isn't that funny? Nothing is inappropriate about what Edgeworth is saying right now. He is a serious man who would never say these sorts of things in court.
In court.
Shut up! You can press as hard as you'd like. Just hurry it up with your usual pointless questions.
The translator had to have known what the fuck they were doing.
Oh, I can... Hold
Gah.
on. Sorry, your audio cut out, so this was like...
Yeah. Okay, what do I... Oh god, okay, Gumshoe, what'd you say that's fucked up? There's no way this is a premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife. Sorry, pal. This isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great for walking around with either. Ah, well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove it was a premeditated murder, we're done for. Oh, it's you.
Phoenix.
Yes?
There's something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully before it's too late.
Upon covering the victim's blood and a knife with Enguarde's fingerprints.
Be grateful. If the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing.
We're still in a world of trouble.
Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find the weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be, okay, Phoenix?
One sec, I need to block the bot.
I
I have that term blocked! Why does it still show up in chat?
What?
I have the term remove the space blocked. Because that's what all the bots do, is they post a link with spaces in it, and then they say, remove the space. The term remove the space is blocked. How is that getting through? Like, is my Stream Elements chatbot just not working? I'm gonna have to test that. Because that is... Does it only work for, like, one word? Can you not put blocked terms?
I don't know.
Alright. And also, wait a second. Oh, yeah, perfect. I can't see it again. Alright, I'm just gonna press for all of these.
Okay.
But in terms of popularity, Mr. Enguarde won, did he not? God damn it, one sec, phone. There we go. Alright. Yeah, but you know what's ironic, pal? Juan Carita was always one step behind Mr. Enguarde in everything. This year seemed like he'd finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown. But Mr. Carita lost the Grand Prix in the end.
That is too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing.
Edgeworth is just like, come on, people, pick it up! Wait just 1 second here. Mr. Enguarde was beating Mr. Carita in popularity polls. Well, yeah, I guess, but... Which means that in the defendant's eyes, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all. I love Gumshoe's stance.
I forgot Edward's fat ass when he's standing prosecutors. I know it's his coat, like, flipping out, but it looks like he just has a massive dump truck.
Listen, we don't know for certain he doesn't.
A. Yes, I quite agree. Well, detective?
It's not, well... I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have had no motive.
Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired.
No, not you too, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. That's...
I look forward to your pension negotiations.
Oh, that's right, because Edgeworth is the one... Well, technically, Edgeworth doesn't have a job anymore. Who's top prosecutor right now?
I think... Is it Von Karma?
No, because she doesn't work at this prosecution office.
Yeah.
I don't think
Maybe
you can just...
Edgeworth just showed up and everybody was like, shit, we have to give it back to Edgeworth.
Immediately.
He's so based.
No!
Now, detective, let's continue with the testimony.
Why? We just proved he has no motive! No, not my poor pension too.
No, Gumshoe! Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed.
Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir.
Oh, poor Gumshoe.
What about what I was saying? Hello, anyone? That's me. Do you have any proof that the button belonged to the victim? Huh? What do you mean, pal? Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking you if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off the Jammin' Ninja's costume. Huh? But can't you tell by just looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it. Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterwards. Mr. Edgeworth, help me, sir! Alright, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in.
Thread.
Huh?
The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously. And that thread was snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread on the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match.
Yeah, that's it. They're a perfect match, pal. Ah. Hit you.
Oh, sorry. That's Edgeworth for you. Never misses a beat.
When was this button found? Pretty soon after the body was found and rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Kurita. And then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button.
So it was almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks unlike some people.
Hey, what is he trying to say about me here?
Mean to him.
Mean to him. Mean to your boyfriend. How are the fingerprints arranged on the knife? Oh, what do you mean, pal? By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhand? Oh, is that you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that.
Gumshoe, you're a detective!
I can't believe the bumbling of this department.
Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony, right? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There is no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder. So is the defendant the owner of this knife, then?
Okay, so we pressed on everything, right? Alright, so that means we gotta shove evidence somewhere.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see what we got. Okay, that's the samurai, that's the costume. press conference, radio transceiver, stolen camera.
Trying to think, was the knife in the room?
Which room?
Was the knife from Karita's room or from On Guard's room?
It was from On Guard's room because they had dinner together and the knife from his plate was missing.
Right. Wait, there's so many autopsy reports.
I know.
But I guess maybe even though it was from like a different room, it was still like a shitty butter knife from the hotel, not like an actual good knife he brought. So maybe they
Yeah.
still wouldn't count for it being like premeditated.
I'll give it a shot. Actually, you know what?
Do what your heart believes.
Do my heart bleeds, which is save scumming.
Hell yeah, baby.
Listen, I need a scum villain self-saving system, AU, where he can actually save scum.
I'm sure that exists.
It'll make everything worse, definitely. Aha, the music died!
Oh, yippee.
Wait a second! Well, what? So the basis of your argument is that this was a premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand. That's right, pal. The defendant did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Huh?
It has a Gatewater seal set into the handle, but it was still from his room.
Gatewater, I think I've heard that name somewhere before. That's the name of the hotel. The Gatewater Hotel. Uh-oh. The murder knife was actually property of the hotel. Which means this murder was not premeditated. You're right, it does make he has a tump.
He's got a fat ass. Yes, that is very true. This is very big. Ha 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 ha. What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless.
What?
Edgeworth theme. I don't know if it's actually his theme, but it slaps. I think whether the crime was premeditated or not has already been determined.
How so?
I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough not to realize this.
But I didn't know. Oh. Whimper.
I'm sure the kind of man to whimper.
He really do be the kind of man to whimper.
The question is...
Not even in a sexual way, just in general.
Just in the general, like a sad dog.
Yes, exactly, a wet dog.
A sad wet dog. Where did this knife come from? Oh, why, that's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Karita's room. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. Actually, Edgeworth is calling out what I realized, because it wasn't from Karita's room, it was from Unguard's room.
Yeah.
The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered. With that being the case, I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. There's a knife and a fork on the table. Then, Where in the world is it? Where in the world did this knife come from? Angela, what are you yelling? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Mr. Matt Ungard. Especially what was on top of his table. There is something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife. We investigated the leftover dishes for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Mattingard's knife was missing. Mr. Ingard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife to visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution has proven this was a premeditated murder. Get his ass, Edgeworth. Why am I cheering for Edgeworth?
I know.
Hold on. If he gets him, if he fucks us up, Maya dies.
I feel like if we told Edgeworth what the fuck's going on,
Yeah.
he would immediately throw the case.
Yeah, if we told Edgeworth what's happening, he'd immediately be like, "Oh shit, let me help."
Yeah.
Amazing, Mr.
Oh,
Edgeworth.
sorry.
Oh, okay. You cut me off.
You bitch.
It seems like Edgeworth had this planned from the very beginning.
This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it.
Good job, Phoenix. Amazing, a booby trap that actually catches boobies. Still one of the best lines from G1 Transformers.
God, G1 Transformers is great. You.
I know. Hold on, I'm petting a cat.
I'm petting a cat. Priorities.
She's very cute right now.
Aww.
A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your Honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court.
Yeah, now Edgeworth is like, come on, Phoenix, you have something!
Edgeworth is like, I know you, we have a psychic bond.
We have a psychic connection!
I can tell something's up with you, bud.
Evidence not yet shown.
He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright?
Well...
Phoenix. The judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here...
That gavel has will ring out to the sound of our defeat.
Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court?
I do.
I do. My assistant's in fucking jail.
There's one piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something this court has yet to see.
Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs a continue at all.
Needs a continue at all?
Shut up! However, I am giving you one more chance, and only one. What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here.
If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us.
Maya fucking dies.
Oh, Jesus!
Yep. You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. You wanna save? Wanna save before you do this so you don't have to go through all this again when you
Hey, guess who didn't click the button in time?
Sarah!
Okay.
I don't think it's any of those because that's too out of like left field.
Yeah.
It has to be something related to the. I think that we haven't talked about the wine glass, and it's very odd that it's like everything else was knocked off the table, and that was just chilling there fine.
Yep, if not, we can just skip through everything else.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that means someone had to come in and put that on the table after all the shit had happened.
Yeah.
This is a wine glass, is it not?
Please look at the photo of the crime scene one more time. Yeah. The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup was all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on top of the dresser.
Well, yes, I see your point.
However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along everything else is this wine glass. There's his voice. Found it again. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration.
Phoenix, my beloved.
Well, what do you all have to say?
Well, yes, it is a little peculiar.
Yes, isn't it? I thought it was.
You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours. Now. Mr. Edgeworth. What is it, Your Honor? Your opinion. You don't need my opinion. Because there is no special meaning to that glass.
What?
It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. By the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example. She could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible, Mr. Wright.
Could Miss Andrews really have set that glass down without thinking?
I would... What do what you think?
I mean, I think it's possible.
But, I mean, is that the track of thought we want going?
No. Why would she be bringing him a glass?
Yeah, remember, we for this one, there's no little mark, so we can bluff out of our ass all we want.
Yeah, true. If I appear weak here, the trial is over.
Yeah.
I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty.
They might just fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough.
The defense
Very
would
cool
like to
mentorship
challenge the
here.
prosecution's theory.
A
We would like
game
to see
theory.
something that proves it was Miss Andrews who set the cup on the table.
You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgeworth, do you have any proof to back up your claim?
There's no way he has any. He's just bluffing.
Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it.
What? Yes, this music!
Yeah. You're not thinking hard enough today, right? It's like your mind is elsewhere, thinking about something else, like a person trapped in a basement or something. Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice?
Then...
Of course it has been thoroughly inspected for fingerprints.
Oh, well. Fingerprints?
Me when fingerprints. There was only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose were they? They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were they were of one Adrian Andrews.
What? Well, there goes that.
This is why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright?
Yeah,
They
I
asked
can't
me
believe I fell
now.
into another trap!
Miss Andrew was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Kurita. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. what you just said makes a lot of sense. Now do you see, right?
I love how he cannot catch you tisking at all.
Tisk, tisk, tisk.
You
They're
must say the
happy.
words tisk, tisk, tisk.
Tisk, tisk, tisk. You can't change any part of my scenario as it explains everything all too well.
Yeah!
I love many times Phoenix is growling in this case.
I know. He's frustrated.
Like an
It's the
angry
pent-up
dog.
sexual frustration.
Shut up.
Now read this line!
Shut up! I was about to read it completely normally,
And
and
then
then
I
you said
said-
something,
and then I said
and now it's in my,
something like
and now
the
it's in my
bitch I am.
brain. Now it's in my brain forever.
It's in my brain!
I've thought long and shut up.
Almost made it.
Alright, shut up. Shut up, me, stop laughing. Why do I have the humor of like a 15-year-old boy? I've thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover. Well, wait a second, Mr. Edgeworth. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict.
One sec. Oh god, I had to reset my face cam and it just kind of like shoved me forwards.
Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from.
I need someone Phoenix can yell at. Another witness.
Literally, the judge says I can pass my verdict right now, and Edgeworth is like, "Nuh-uh, we have to give Phoenix some more chances." Yes. Bailiff, please bring in the next witness. Bailiff, whack his pee-pee.
Bailiff, fuck his pee-pee.
What in the world is Mr. Edgeworth thinking? He's helping us. Angelo, get off the shrimp tank.
Oh
Go with my
god,
shrimp.
no.
Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation.
Edgeworth willingly talked to Old Bag.
Does he know this is Old Bag, though, is the question.
That's a good point.
Witness, your name and occupation, please. Fuck, I've been shot.
Hey! Gotcha!
Ugh.
I wonder what happened to that calm composure he had earlier.
Yay, we get to see the...
Angie boy, it's been what, a year since we last met, has it? You should be more happy to see me!
I love the Edgeworth, like, shaking, crying, throwing up sprite.
Oh, he didn't know!
I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet was the Wicked Witch of the witness
He
stand?
didn't fucking know.
I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today I'm gonna tell you anything and everything. Anything's got to do with that terrible crime.
Miss Witness, that terrible crime is all this court needs to know.
Why'd they let her bring the space gun?
Shush, I'm talking to my dear Edgy right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps.
Kill me. Yes, madame. No, no, no. Please, by all means, interrupt her. Please.
Edgeworth is like, I would like to rescind this witness now. Please end this fucking trial.
Edgeworth is like, I don't want to be a prosecutor anymore.
I have made a mistake.
I have
This is
made
not worth
a grievous error.
Seeing Phoenix again is not worth it.
Literally. Anyway, witness your testimony, please.
It's true what they say, that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, Edgy. Now then, what should I start with?
The witness was on security detail at the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Miss Oldbag?
It was a great job being able to see my dearest one. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle.
You mean you were a fan of the victim?
Look, everyone is crazy over that on guard saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in a little child like him. I'm only interested in a real man, Juan Carita. They're the same
They're
age.
the same age! We're the same age.
But those two were the same age. Anyways, I was saying...
Is it also, like, aren't Edgeworth and Phoenix basically around the same age as, like, Matt regarding Juan Carita?
Let's see. Old bag is unknown. 21. No, they're a little bit older.
Yeah, they're only 4 years apart. And for the second, she's fucking, like, hitting on Edgeworth.
Yeah. I was pacing about his room that night.
Very well. Please tell the court what you witnessed the night of the murder. I forget that Edgeworth and Phoenix are, like, 25.
I know.
That doesn't seem right.
They're younger than me.
Edgeworth seems like he should be, like, 30 plus at least.
It's the silver hair and trauma.
It's the trauma.
Leave it to me, Edgy Poo. Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around the hallway in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know. Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was a man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was on guard, Matt on guard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room.
Brain just went, hey, what if, secret rivals, but secret lovers?
They were fucking.
Listen, people, if you know in the universe, people write RPF about them.
Oh, God. So, Mr. Ungard came out from the victim's room. Was it Mr. Ungard or was it his costume?
I know.
See, it has to be him. He's the murderer.
Hate you.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yeah, get her ass on saying I saw Ungard.
Yeah.
It's like, did you see him? Or did you see his fucking costume?
Who in the world was that? I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded for the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room. He was...
Yes, he was.
I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud.
You just said it. Oh, what I wouldn't give to have Francesca's whip right about now.
Elder abuse,
Well, I guess
let's
I can
go.
tell you since he was such a bad boy anyway.
Okay, well now I can press you. You saw my client? Are you sure about that?
Yes, say. Really? Annoying brat, when I say I saw someone, I saw that person.
Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into this a bit further. Person's clothes!
Yep.
Please tell the court about the man's clothes in more detail.
What a troublesome man you are, really, as if something like that matters.
But it does.
Now what was it? Oh, yes, it was that thing.
What thing?
That gaudy thing he's always wearing, that racing jacket.
Ah, he was wearing that at the detention center, too. Oh, so he was wearing his regular clothes.
That thing's meant for nothing but seducing women out of their pantaloons. Huh, men.
Jesus.
She said you fox.
Right.
So, Mr. Wright. Was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way?
We gotta go for some... Well... Yes, it was vital important. Of course it was important, Your Honor.
Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of the testimony was important.
Don't you see it, Edgeworth?
No.
Your Honor, I request what the witness said about the jacket be appended to her testimony.
I don't quite see where you're going with this, but alright, witness, please.
Well, I don't like to badmouth anyone without reason, but if I must.
Are you sure the defendant was wearing a racing jacket?
What do you think? It's not like I've seen him in anything other than that horrible thing. I'm sure he was wearing it.
She is so sure of herself that is to the point of self-absorption.
She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying.
That's bad for us, really bad.
But that's how the human mind is. It also has the tendency to jump off topic. She strayed onto a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? But that what makes her a sweet old lady, right?
That's because you're not the one who has to question her. Oh, this was not here before, I don't think.
It was, you just skipped over
okay.
it. I think she's trying to find out about the scandal.
Something you were interested in. And just what was that?
It's not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know. It's top secret between me and Juan. And Edgeworth, of course.
Mr. Edgeworth, what is this thing she was interested in? I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor.
Gossip?
But should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended to her testimony later. It looks like we shouldn't force it right now.
Well, guess what I'm about to do.
And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time?
And let's see, was it this by any chance?
Whew.
Oh, god dang it.
I don't think, because I think when you present stuff, you're trying to, like, contradict it, not, like...
Add on to it, yeah.
Yeah. Whoops.
Whoops. Nope, go back. Oh, then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Kurita's room?
I have no idea. I wasn't born so I could count things for those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I quit keeping track of how old I really am.
Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report. In any case, the witness then saw someone, correct?
Miss Oldbag, what was your post on that night? What was your post on that night? Oh, what was your post on that night?
Yeah.
The lobby. I was supposed to help set up the stage for that trifling show. But I refused to help, I'll have you know. I was waiting for that lead-headed samurai show. Hey, I even took out a few of the nails.
Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on.
Besides, that manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me. So I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little.
And that's when you went to hang around the victim's door? Alright, so I gotta press her on something now. Or I have to find evidence for something now.
Yeah. Yeah, was it? Hold on, wait, go back to the button. Yeah, it was,
if he was wearing a racing jacket, then yeah, he wouldn't be in his Hakama.
Yeah, he wasn't in his costume.
Miss Oldbag.
What? Don't say my name for no reason.
Do you know what this is?
It's button number 2 on Jim and Ninja's costume.
Now I know she's an obsessed fan. She identified it in a single glance.
Give it here! Give it here! If you don't give it to me, I'll punish you with this!
Wow, she really is a diehard fan to want a button covered in blood. No, I think, you know, Insano fans absolutely... It has more value if it's covered in blood.
I know, they can lick the blood off.
They can lick the blood off of... This button was discovered on Mr. Ungard's body during a full-body search.
See? This button proves beyond a shadow of a doubt it was that rascal on guard.
It was caught up in the pleats of his nickel samurai Hakama pants.
See? And on guard is the nickel samurai.
Witness. Now, it may just be me, and I do have an active imagination. But just now, didn't you say that the defendant, Matt on guard, was wearing his usual racing jacket?
Well, Tandela, why is your head wet?
Why are you wet?
Why are you mystery wet?
Why are you wet?
I'm just petting him, and I'm just like, why is your head moist?
Was Clove licking him?
No.
I'm
maybe,
so
I don't know.
sorry. Sorry that you judge people based on what they wear. If I were the trendiest clothes, maybe you'd think I was the most kosher ever, but instead I had to put on this ridiculous looking outfit. You'd agree this outfit is hideous. Right, I've got a tape recorder stuck on my chest. Let me tell you, it's heavy. So heavy, I wish we just switched to CD's age ago, but I'm keeping that dream alive for all the kids out there who work hard and smile at face, don't you understand? Now take a look at the mirror. Your clothes are about as interesting as a documentary on curling. You should take a trip to Edgeworth. He's got style.
Oh god, I love doing her ramblings, but god, I cannot speak.
Now hold your tongue still there for a second. What you saw in so what you saw in actuality was not Mr. Unguard, the man. I fucking knew
Yep.
it, you stupid bitch. I mean, I already knew it, but... But Mr. Unguard, the Nickel Samurai?
When you think about it,
Don't... We had this...
they're
First
really one and the
game.
same anyway.
You dumb bitch!
Miss Oldbag, this is a very important point we're talking about.
Edgy Poo, do you think so too?
Well, it might be something worth considering.
Just say it's important and agree with me for a change.
No.
No.
Witness, think carefully and try to remember as much as you can before you testify.
Alright, if you insist.
I should be the one sighing, not you.
On guard. Yes, now I remember. The Nickel Samurai, that's right, it was the Nickel Samurai that I saw. Yes, it would have been convenient for him to wear his costume during the murder. He had to go to that post-ceremony show right after the crime, you know. So he must have worn that Nickel Samurai costume when he was stabbing poor Juan.
I knew it. I knew you'd say he was inside that costume.
What? Do you think there could have been someone else inside that costume? Don't be a bad little boy, thinking such rude things.
But the possibility does exist.
Young incident, I told you there was no way it was anyone else.
How do you know that?
Is your cat right by the speaker, or right by the microphone?
He mayhaps be.
I just hear him bumping into it.
He just stands on me and, like, walks in circles. He's finally sat down.
Because I said so, and what I say is the truth.
This bitch. At least she's just as delightful a witness as she was a year ago. Go.
Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
I think this, because he didn't know he had a show. Was there anyone else scheduled to appear at the post-ceremony show?
Well, all the contestants were supposed to go on stage in a friendly gesture thing.
And that included the Jamba Ninja?
Of course it included him. That's why when On Guard came out of dear Juan's room, I didn't give it a second thought.
I see.
I love how you're just, like, scrolling Tumblr right now.
Listen.
You don't deny it!
Well, anyway.
I'm on Reddit, actually.
Oh, sorry. So let me ask you one last time. The person you saw, it really was the Nickel Samurai.
As showy as ever. Haven't I been saying that from the very beginning?
Can I throw in the towel yet? Huh.
You don't need to think too hard on this one.
Huh?
is a contradiction in her testimony, and it's sitting in plain sight. The question is what that contradiction means for us.
Well, I have to figure out what you're talking about first, but okay. Would you please get on with your testimony?
Watch your language, young man. What sort of tone is that to take with an elder? My youthfulness isn't what it used to be, so you should forgive me for everything. If you keep on barking at me like that, I'll start singing at the top of my lungs. What? A striking figure by the sea, standing all alone is he. He's the Nickel Samurai.
Oh,
She's
God.
actually singing. Someone help my poor ears.
Mr. Edgeworth, can you please do something about this racket? Witness. I'll give you a piece of gum later if you'll be good and stick to just the facts.
Is that the exact same logic he used with the kid?
I think, basically.
Okay, you promise, right?
Right. I'll be sending the bill for the chewing gum to your office at a later date.
Also my therapy bill. Remind me to send you a thank you note later too, Edgeworth, old chum.
I love them. They're so embarrassing.
I know. Be a little more careful with your testimony, please. Not too long ago, you said he was wearing his racing jacket, and now he's not?
Not too long ago. Let me ask you this. When you were itty bitty, what was your great dream? What was your grand dream? Huh? What'd you want to be when you grew up, whippersnapper?
My dream, huh? Well, I, wanted to be Judge Wagner, hero of the public court. So what?
See? And look where you are now. You're not Judge Wagner, are you? Are you?
Well,
When I said earlier, who was anyway into things like that? The now is everything. I can't be held responsible for the past.
since when did court become theatrics over testimonies?
All that matters is the man inside that costume. Isn't that enough?
I got an achievement!
Yeah!
Why is there an achievement for that? And why would that be?
That way no one can see his face, of course.
But there's still no advantage for him that I can see. In fact, you would think the costume would make him stand out all the more.
You are such an annoying child, you know that? You disagree with everything I say.
Isn't that what you're always doing to me?
I got it. Maybe there's more tropes than him to change in and out of his costume.
Alright, so now I gotta use more evidence. Shoot, okay, now I have no idea where to go from here. Maybe... No. I'm gonna present this, because On Guard didn't know about the post-show. Maybe? I don't know. No.
Yeah. Oh my god. If he was wearing the, hold on, go to where what does she say he was actually wearing the costume in this testimony?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't there be blood on it since he stabbed him?
I guess, but what would I present that?
The knife? Maybe?
I'll do both of these.
I think I would do the knife first.
Ah, there we go.
Oh shit! My brain, it's so massive.
Please take a look at this.
Yeah, so it's a knife. Big deal. If you're trying to scare me with that, I'll have you know it won't work.
No, that's not my intention at all.
That's, hold on. Cat, what are you doing? That's the knife that was used in the murder, correct?
Your Honor, do you know why this piece of evidence is important to this case?
A knife. You don't even have to ask. It's because the defendant's fingerprints are on it. Is that what you're driving at?
That is exactly what I'm driving at.
Phoenix, you can't drive. You don't have a driver's license. And what are we driving at? And whose car are we driving?
If Mr. Ungard really wasn't the Nickel Samurai costume at the time of the murder, then it's impossible for his fingerprints to have been left on this knife.
Ah, or that. Alright.
Actually, he would have wiped all previous fingerprints on this knife right off.
I was going with the blood, but I guess fingerprints work too. Oh, that's right. The Nickel Samurai wears gloves, doesn't he? He probably took his gloves off before he began the stabbing. But why?
And why would he do something like that? To leave his prints on the murder weapon? There's no way he would do something like that.
However, there is one possibility.
Then let's hear your possibility.
It's very simple. The defendant went to the victim's room while in costume as the Nickel Samurai. At the time, the defendant held no intent to murder. He was probably just going to relax and talk with the victim about the stage show. Which is why he took his gloves off. But why would he have brought the knife?
I know.
But the murder still did take place. Violence. Off. It's well known there was it's well known that there was bad blood between the defendant and the victim. Yes, I have heard that before. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say about Mr. Edgeworth's theory?
So let
It's
me get this
bullshit.
straight. Edgeworth's theory goes like this. When the defendant went to the victim's room, he had no intention of killing him. Now, up to this point, are there any problems with this theory?
Yes,
Yes, there's a contradiction.
the knife.
This theory contradicts something in an earlier testimony.
What are you babbling about?
Now, for argument's sake, let's suppose Mr. Ungard was the killer. If that's the case, I think it's impossible for the killer to have gone to the victim's room without intent. The knife again!
The knife again!
This knife, this was used by Mr. Ungard at dinner.
Yes, we did establish that.
Which means that if my client was, in fact, the killer, then he brought this knife with him when he went to visit Mr. Kurita.
I suppose.
However, you just said it yourself. At that time, the defendant held no intent to murder.
Why would he bring a knife?
If that were true, then why would he bring a knife? He wouldn't, would he? Which means, Mr. Edgeworth, your theory was flawed from supposition 1. And one more thing. If the murderer was wearing the costume at the time of the murder, then there should be glove marks left on the knife. Which means the defendant's fingerprint shouldn't be all over it like bees on a hive.
Bees.
And that brings us to my final point. This knife was planted by the real killer to hide their identity and mislead us. Just ignore me
Gross.
barking in the middle of the sentence.
A phoenix, disgusting.
Go.
Order! Order, I say! Order in the court! Was this knife really planted by the killer?
I mean, to frame him, obviously.
To frame me at
Is
Ungard.
to frame my client, Mr. Ungard, of course.
To frame? Aren't you forcing the interpretation just a little too hard on this one?
We just established that the witness saw the Nickel Samurai in costume, and if that were true, then there shouldn't be a single fingerprint on this knife.
Witness.
Looks like I made your life a teeny bit more difficult, huh, Edgy Poo?
What is
I
that?
want to hear you say that.
Witness, did you not really see the Nickel Samurai?
Well, I guess at first I might have forgotten, but...
Are you saying you mixed up Mr. Ungar with the Nickel Samurai, his character on TV?
But I mean, I can't really do anything about that now. Look, I was waiting around in front of the door because, well, I wasn't waiting around for the Nickel Samurai, that's for sure.
She wasn't waiting for the Nickel Samurai. Alright then, who were you waiting around for then?
Huh, that's top secret to anyone outside of security.
I have a feeling that you were waiting for Mr. Juan Kurita. Am I correct, witness?
Heh. The way you think, you are a sad amateur with a terrible case of nearsightedness.
Amateur? Me? What am I an amateur of?
So Ulba was waiting around in front of the victim's room. But it doesn't sound like she was waiting to catch a glimpse of Mr. Kurita.
Maybe. Phoenix. Maybe that... maybe the old bag was waiting around for that person.
If it's who I think it might be sensing at, it's certainly possible. Miss Oldbag, you're waiting around for this person to come out of the victim's room, weren't you? Read the thing!
Sorry, I'm vibing.
So am I.
Who is this person?
This is Adrian Andrews, Mr. Unguard's manager.
But why would but why would the defendant's manager be in the victim's room? It seems that this is the latest rumor in circulation, Your Honor. Oh, this is, I see.
The judge seems to be really into the article, if it can be called such a thing.
And this manager with the initials AA, are you saying it's... Adrian Andrews? Without a doubt, the witness thought so as well.
Looks like you found me out. Well, that's fine. I can throw away this whole sworn to confidentiality stuff then.
Well, witness, what in the world are you? Watch out, Phoenix. I got a bad feeling about this. A very bad feeling.
I got some information. Some very secret information from a certain source, Lotta. So that's why I was doing my own little investigation. In secret, of course.
But for what?
Nope, that's not all what he said.
But what for?
Oh, just for myself. Personal reasons and all that.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, how will you proceed from here? I really don't want to do this. However, I cannot simply let this point slide. I see. Very well then. Witness, please testify about this secret information.
Get ready, it's gonna take the wind out of you youngins.
I'm sure we're all capable of handling this, really. It's not like we're 10 years old.
Secret information.
Madam Guard is one evil man. He thought he could ruin poor Juan by causing a huge scandal. So to do that, he sent his own manager to get in close with Juan. I cannot condone such dirty tricks, so I took action. Oh, and this is top secret. You got that? Nobody else but you and me know yet, okay?
What the fuck do you mean took action?
The defendant sent his manager. What a distasteful topic for this court.
What? Nobody's above gossip. And isn't there a saying? The truth is never pleasant.
Never heard that one before.
Mr. Edgeworth, what about this Adrian Andrews person? We have looked into this matter and found that the truth this article proposes is in fact baseless gossip. But should this be true? Then this proves that the defendant did bear ill will towards the victim.
This means I have to smash this rumor once and for all.
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Be careful. The old bag seems rather excited right now.
That's right, on guard is nothing but your average full-blooded, foul-blooded youth.
Well, as the old saying goes, you gotta burn old bags with fire. Time to fire up the afterburners and hit the highway to the danger zone. What the fuck?
Highway to the danger zone.
To the danger zone.
Okay, what action? So, what do you mean by I took action?
Like I already told you, I was lying in wait close to the crime scene. Once that slimy woman came out of Juan's room, I was gonna capture her and teach her a good lesson. Something you youngins need.
You were going to teach her a good lesson?
I was gonna make her eat the damaging beams of my ray gun. Like this.
No, stop.
Well, it's too bad that woman didn't come through the door that night.
Oh, she didn't go through it all.
Wait. What? I'm a busy woman. Tea time with the kids is over.
Secret information that no one else knows yet. If that's true, then how do you know this secret information?
Well, that's because I'm a bro. Yes, that's it. It's a secret. Even if you drilled a hole in my brain, you'll never find out.
How do you know that
Lobotomize
old bag
her.
gets such a secret piece of information? Press further. Actually, no, present evidence. Should I present Lada's, profile?
Or Lotta's camera, maybe? Yeah, present evidence.
So no one else is supposed to know this secret information, correct? If that's true, then why do you know it, Miss Old Bag?
Why are you looking at me like that? Stop that.
Witness. I hate to say it, but this is how you came to acquire your secret info, isn't it? Yeah, because the camera had the tabloid article in the case.
Yeah.
The investigative photographer, Lada. So either one of them probably would have worked.
Yeah. Oh yes, I remember that mischievous girl.
She reported that she had lost a certain note she had written on herself.
She reported such a thing.
On that piece of paper, she had written down some of her impressions about the relationship between the victim and Miss Andrews.
Oh, that's you.
What? Outrageous ideas, you say?
No, I said impressions.
Then everything written on this paper is completely meaningless?
That's it. That's the note.
No, you see, this is something completely different. It's my top secret list of groceries to buy.
Then you're the one who took Miss Hart's note?
I'm a huge fan of Juan's, that's why. The infamous puppy-head whippersnapper. She's working with that evil on guard. She said so herself. On guard, I'm his sidekick. She was so happy, smiling like a silly duck. I was only checking what she had written. Angie Pooh, you believe me, don't you? I was only trying to help out, like the angel I am.
delivery. You really should come with a supply of cheese to match your vintage wine. Incredible line, Edgeworth. Well, it was only a piece of paper. I suppose we can overlook it just this once. Judge.
You look like she's really sorry. Can I forgive her? No, you took a $700 camera also! If I let up on her now, she'll get away. I have to find some way to inflict a deafening blow to the prosecution.
Kill Edgeworth.
No, we can't do that. He's our boyfriend. He's our estranged boyfriend.
What are they, lovers? Worse.
Worse, prosecutor and defense attorney. Are they lovers? Worse, they're rivals. Witness! You said the only thing you stole was that note. Is this correct?
Stole? Why didn't you just listen more carefully, annoying brat? I saved this piece of paper for the terrible lonely trash can, that's all.
You're lying, damn it, and I can prove it!
Are you putting my credibility under scrutiny again?
Miss Old Bag.
A phoenix said a fuck word.
I don't believe that note's the only thing you stole that night.
Moi.
Miss Old Bag. That note was with a camera inside its case, wasn't it?
A camera?
Yesterday, Lotta Hart was raising a huge stink over her camera. She kept saying something like, my sweet $1,600 camera disappeared on me.
$16,000 camera?
Yeah.
Why? Why? Witness?
What is it, Gramps?
If you have the note, then it's only logical that you have the camera too.
Oh, that's you.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you found me out again, Sonny. Is this the camera you're looking for? That's... What, even though I look like this, I'm still a person, you know? I still eat meals like you, I fall in love and borrow things from people.
I think your definition of borrow is a little...
I saw that woman's business card, that's what I noticed it said. Slidebag celebrity photographer extraordinaire. But when I saw that, I had no sort of picture she had taken. I'm a professional security guard, it's my business to know these things.
Hit you.
Bailiff. Check this camera's photos, hurry. We must examine them at once. Let's go. Can't wait for the fucking camera. Just so some bitch in a costume.
I know.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do we have? There's only one photo that seems to be relevant to this case. Please present it to the court.
Wow, what a surprise!
This is the Nickel Samurai.
See, I told you, that's the guy I saw.
Old bag, I'm going to throttle you. This proves the witness was not lying earlier about this matter. What does all this mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photo by itself is not... Oh, yeah, sorry.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Mr. Edgeworth? This photo by itself does not prove that the person in it is the defendant. However, in his own confession, Mr. Arngard clearly stated that at the time of the murder, he was still in his Nickel Samurai costume. If that is the case, then this Nickel Samurai is...
Oh, God.
Why are his pants so fucking baggy, though? The defendant. How did it come to this? I think this brings us to the end. We have examined every piece of evidence thoroughly. Final comments, Mr. Wright. The court will consider them before we close. Sorry. Do you agree that this photo is decisive evidence against your client?
And so it really is decisive, then we're done for. But if I raise an objection here and blow it, then I would put Maya's life in jeopardy. I can't make a mistake here. There's only one road out of this mess. Save Scum.
Fly out of her ass!
This photo that Lotta took, there's something strange with it.
Why is fucking pants so baggy?
There's something strange with this photo.
I knew this was coming, right? Your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth? I think we can all agree there is nothing strange with this photo. There is no way for the defense to debunk this photo, even with a bunker buster. Shut up, Edgeworth. Debunk with a bunker buster? Is that what you're planning to do, Mr. Wright?
Anyway, please look at the photo one more time.
If you really believe you can honestly find something wrong with this photo, then you should only need one chance, correct?
Well, I have to find something wrong with this photo. I can't let this chance go by. Where in the heck did she take this photo from anyway? It's all out of focus. Why can't she take a good shot, especially when it counts?
Now then, let's hear your objection. What about this photo is strange? The pants? Why are they so baggy?
baggy? I'll let you direct the court's attention to this one area right here.
Well, what are you pointing to? His ankles?
If you could see this person's ankles, that would be one thing. However, you can't.
And what does that mean?
The costume person in this photo could not have been Mr. On Guard.
Oh, what is the meaning of this? I wonder if you would care to elaborate with actual facts, that is.
Let's take a look at the Nickel Samurai's poster. Please pay particular attention to the area around the bottom of the Hakama.
His socks. You can see his socks.
Exactly. However, in this photo, the Knuckle Samurai is clearly holding his Hakama up just to walk. There's only one explanation for this. The person inside this costume is clearly much shorter than the defendant. Alright, I think I've turned things around for myself this time.
That's curious.
Huh? What is?
Edgeworth is unusually calm today.
He was not earlier!
What's
That's
he...
true.
He's just letting the trial run itself, as if he's only along for the ride.
Along for the ride? What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that? I can only guess that perhaps he doesn't feel under attack at all.
I mean, this isn't even technically his trial. He doesn't feel under attack? Then I haven't damaged his case at all?
Mr. Edgeworth, where did this leave us? If the person in this photo is not Matt on guard, then everything the prosecution has tried to prove has become meaningless. I figured it would come to this.
What?
Right, I have something I want to ask you. I think you have proven that the person inside this costume is not Matt Ungard. In that case, who is this a photo of?
Who's the person wearing the Nickel Samurai costume?
Don't stress out over this, Phoenix. It's very simple. Hey, Mia said it was very simple.
I know. I'm assuming it's Adrian.
What you should be focused on is Edgeworth's attitude, don't you think?
Yeah, why is he so calm?
Sorry, I keep yawning. Mr. Wright, let's hear your thoughts. Who is the person in this photograph? Look at this
attorney's badge!
My attorney's badge.
I mean,
Look, it's Maya.
I'm guessing it's Adrian. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, because also it has to be someone who's much shorter.
Yeah.
And it said Adrian was small. Adrian Andrews.
If you want to know who that Nickel Samurai is, it is none other than this woman.
And why would you say it must be Miss Andrews? What in the world points you to her?
For starters, she's short.
Short
And
queen.
she can freely move in and out of Mr. Ungard's room. Finally, she had dinner with Mr. Ungard that night.
And how does that all add up?
It means it makes very easy for her to get a certain item. A certain knife with Mr. Ungard's fingerprints all over it.
The knife was used as a murder weapon. Why don't you just say what it is you want, right?
I have to do this now. This is my last chance to turn things around. The defense moves to indict Miss Adrian Andrews in the murder of Juan Carita. It was Miss Andrews who tried to frame the defendant for the crime.
Bang, bang, bang. Order! 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 It looks like this trial has hit a most unexpected development. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. The court is issuing a subpoena for Miss Adrian Andrews. A verdict cannot be passed without first hearing her testimony.
Alright, this is it.
This is kind of bad for us.
Huh? What do you mean?
If Adrian Andrews is summoned to court as a witness, it means that the trial will go on for another day.
One more day? Ack! If I don't get a verdict today, then Maya...
Now then, we shall set Miss Andrews' testimony for tomorrow.
What am I supposed to do? The judge is about to adjourn the court. I have to... God, this is... How are we supposed to get... How... I mean, I have to raise an objection.
Do what your heart believes. Now then.
Please, Your Honor, continue the trial. You must pass a verdict today.
What? In literally every other case, they're all like, "Let's get this over with. I want to go to lunch."
But I mean,
And now they're
because to be fair, he's like, you know, we all know what the verdict is. Let's just get over with. Now it's like, well, we aren't certain. We need the other witness.
Yeah, I can't do that. We can't hear Miss Andrews' testimony if she is not the boy. I abhor wasting such valuable time.
I love how, like, based on just things right now, Edgeworth has no idea what the fuck is going on with Maya. He knows that Phoenix is not the type of person to rush a case like this. So the fact that he is trying to means something important is happening, and Edgeworth is like, I'm just gonna fucking help him. Edgeworth.
Your Honor, I request that you please continue with today's trial. But... We cannot continue due to this unexpected development. Tisk tisk. Unexpected development? I think you underestimate me, Your Honor. And what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? That Mr. Phoenix Wright would slave his way to subpoenaing Miss Adrian Andrews is all happening according to plan, even if Wright was a bit slow to catch on.
What?
What?
Every time she appears, for a split fucking second, I think she's Sans.
What is the meaning of your statement, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Adrian Andrews is currently waiting in the prosecution's lobby.
Fuck yeah, Edgeworth!
Let's go, Edgeworth!
Let's go, Edgeworth!
The boy! She is the next witness.
Everything was planned out in advance by that man?
That man. Somehow I knew there was no way Edgeworth would overlook Miss Andrews. Looks like this battle is far from over.
Except we are both on the same side, he just has to act like he's not.
Literally. Exactly.
What case was it? It was the... Oh, you know what? It was the Steel Samurai case, where he just full-on flipped. Like, he
with
just,
D. Vasquez.
Yeah,
He was like, yeah.
full-on may as well have stood next... Actually, no. Technically, we should have been standing next to him, because we were both prosecuting her.
Yeah. Very well. We will call the next witness. However, before we proceed, we shall take a 10-minute recess. Please prepare your witness in that time, Mr. Edgeworth. The court will now take a 10-minute recess. Yippee, we get to go on the swings!
We get to go on the swings! To be continued right fucking now. I love this random artwork. Like,
it's beautiful.
It's a fucking bridge. It's a bridge that goes directly to a tree. I've never looked at this before. It's a bridge over what I assume is a river, but it directly connects to a tree.
Dude, I can't believe that Adrian, no way, not cool, and collected Adrian Andrews.
She is your manager. It would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her.
So after the ceremony, during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log the entire time.
See, she could have also easily planted that blood-covered button on your Hakama.
Because she was the one that came to wake me up? Then, dude, you're saying it really was her?
Yes, she is the real killer. She was the killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Corrida.
But why? I thought she was buds with Juan.
She has her own agenda.
Her own agenda? What are you talking about?
I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be alright. I'll get you acquitted by the end of today.
Get me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer Dude?
Jesus.
Phoenix. You think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing suicide note, right?
Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impacts as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly killed herself. Sounds like she left a suicide note and the person thought to have hidden it
is Juan Corrida, the victim in the victim of this murder.
That's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Corrida. I'll have to get the suicide note back.
That sounds plausible. But one thing bothers me.
What?
Who was it that first told us about their relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impacts.
It was Edgeworth.
Looks like he's still the one in command of this ship.
Mia says Edgeworth tops.
Don't let your guard down yet. Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. The prosecution calls the witness subpoenaed by this court. Miss Adrian Andrews, the person who discovered the crime in Mr. Juan Carita's room.
I wonder if we're ever going to have a case where the victim is not actually dead.
I wonder. What is your occupation? I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt Engard.
That's right, you were Andrews, right?
Yeah, I'm everyone in this fucking trial.
I just had to do myself the entire time with Gumshoe and Old Bag.
But see, you always steal like the people like in the beginning of the case. I see.
I know,
usually, like,
and then you get the more important people.
I see. Now then. Before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yes, sure. What is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing. And would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossipland.
If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me.
Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relationship to the victim. Yes, I was saying Mr. Carita. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan. But this was a private matter between Juan and myself. What do you mean, Judge?
What do you mean?
What do you mean by that? So it was a fry and bait matter. Or was that bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing. But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that.
We are. We definitely are.
I think there's someone who would beg to differ.
The man who begs to differ.
It's us. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well, then. Witness, please testify to the court. About what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place.
What the Does she have a split personality? and is like half of it Adrian Andrews and half of it the killer?
We met the killer! He is a British man!
With a weird scar down his face, it could be a bodysuit.
It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room. And there was his dead body. I was in shock. What I saw was, naturally, the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. As one does. You poured yourself a glass of juice? Yes, sadly I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of a crime. And I disturbed a crime scene by moving this one thing. And that was when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Phoenix. She is one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match.
Yes, I know.
In order to catch a person like her, you have to avoid head-on confrontations. You should disrupt her pacing.
Disrupt her pacing.
She's the type of woman who will be easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. So you have to attack when she least expects it. The instant you let up on your offense the instant you let up on your offense is the instant this trial is over. Understand?
So, current theory, the killer is the killer. He wants On Guard proven innocent, not because he cares about On Guard, but because he specifically wants Andrews to get arrested for something. Maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know how he's involved with Juan. If Juan was just a victim. And what was Mr. On Guard doing at the time?
He was taking a nap. He was eepy. He was worn out from his many performances as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony.
Huh, Mr. On Guard did say he was taking a nap. Then I guess you could say it could not have been taken. It could not have been taken out.
Use
Then
your
I
words,
guess you could
Phoenix.
say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes?
Excuse me? It? What are you? Right. I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence.
Yeah, that confused me.
If you can't make a sensible sentence with a subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch.
I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say.
I don't
Suck my dick.
even want to know. Look at Edgeworth helping us. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. Unguard's knife from his room? No.
Lie! Magatama goes off.
Nagatama goes off. Subject, verb, object. Right. Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. Again, Phoenix was an art student. He never had to take English classes.
And why did you do that?
As a friendly jester, Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes.
So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Is that the only reason?
I beg your pardon. What are you implying?
You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim.
Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at that time.
Can't get her to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess.
May we continue now? Witness, what did you see when you got to his room?
So should we present it here? Because it's not
After that,
contradicting anything, but like...
I'd say just finish pressing her on everything
Yeah, you're
first.
right.
Again, it doesn't seem like we're
We're not going up against Von Karma.
Yeah, we're against our dear sweet Edgeworth, who would only make sassy comments at us when we press on dumb things.
You were in shock?
What? Was I not supposed to be?
Miss Andrews is a very calculating person. And despite how close they were, I doubt you had romantic feelings for Mr. Kurita.
Anyone Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock. And you can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked.
Somehow, I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not.
I see.
This is the photo you're referring to, correct?
Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest.
And the guitar case was like this too?
Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then, what did you do next, witness?
Juice.
Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself.
You didn't drink any of it, did you?
Huh?
There were no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it.
I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it.
Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Carita, you were in great shock. And that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct?
And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time.
Mine was a complete blank. I didn't think that was possible for you.
Aren't you rude today?
I'm rude all the time.
I'm rude all the time in my head. I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing.
What one thing?
Never mind. It's no big deal.
Well, she started to
Ma'am.
say just now.
Hold on, I gotta go. What are you eating? What is that? Hold on, I gotta go. Tangela has a plastic of some kind.
That's fine. I need to fill my water bottle up, so give me like 30 seconds.
Tangela, what is that?
Close enough.
What is that? There's something that's... What? Alright, Tangela's done being a sinner. Hi. I'm Mr.
Alright.
Tangela.
Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that, as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was.
Actually, so would I. I'm sorry. It's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Flower vase? Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? This mess of glass shards. It was originally on top of the dresser. But when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. But why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry, I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume that the vase was just another part of the mess. It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else.
What kind of flower vase was it?
It was a glass vase, and it was fairly big and heavy. I thought that I would try and take Juan's pulse. So I set the glass I was holding down on the dresser. And that's when my elbow accidentally hit the vase.
That's odd. I thought she was always in total control of herself.
That's what she would like people to think.
Also, to be fair, she is in shock.
Yeah. Always be mindful of the gap between your perception and reality.
It doesn't sound like there's
Phoenix.
any glaring contradictions in her testimony just now.
I warned you earlier that she would not crack so easily. The only way to make her is to...
Keep on the offensive, not let up.
The only way you're going to catch her with some strong and decisive... The only way you're going to catch her is with some very strong, decisive evidence.
I have to find something. I just have to, for Maya's sake. Alright, so let me save Skim again. And then just start shoving your mentor's suicide, autopsy report in your face.
Trauma dump on her.
Trauma! Here's her trauma!
It's like we learned of her traumatic past. Now time to remind her of it.
Yep. Yeah, there's no contradiction. I'm just gonna throw it in her face a couple times before I actually...
Make her cry. Do you want the actual answer before you kill yourself?
No, I saved, so I'm gonna do one more.
Oh, alright. Oh, I just stabbed my hand in the corner of my desk. That really
Don't
hurt.
do that. I keep slamming my knee on my fucking,
Yoshi.
tower.
Owie, owie.
My desktop tower.
Owie, owie, owie.
Yeah, there you go. I knew that was gonna happen.
Good job, King.
Milky. I kind of want to see if there's something at the end with, like, you know, Maya fucking dying. Alright, what's the actual answer?
I believe, hold on, where she talks about, sorry, cat. Where she says something about knocking over the vase onto the guitar case.
Yeah.
Yeah, here. Go to the picture of the crime scene. Do we have a picture of the crime scene?
Yes.
There we go. There's no water in the guitar case.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
So, it had to be opened after she spilled the face on it.
Yeah.
What?
You testified that you knocked the flower vase over, is this correct?
Yes.
And you sure it fell onto the guitar case?
Is there some problem with what I said?
It's not some problem, it's a major problem.
Phoenix, you don't have to be so sassy all the time.
The shoe at the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Miss Andrews, you testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside.
That's very true.
Furthermore, there's one other strange thing about this guitar case.
And why is that?
Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are shattered on the floor.
And what is wrong with that?
If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shards should be inside, not outside the case. God, glass shards reminds me of that stupid trailer for the new Final Destination movie that I keep seeing everywhere. I've seen like the first 5 seconds of that clip and I already know what happens and I hate it.
I can't say I relate.
It's
there's a glass falls over on a bar, and the bartender wipes the glass down, and then it zooms in on a shot of an open thing of ice next to where the glass fell, and I'm like, I know what's gonna happen, and God, why? I hate Final Destination movies.
Why? You don't like just seeing people die?
No! That's why I hate Final... I get why some people like it. I just can never watch a Final Destination movie or a Saw movie.
See, the first Saw movie is good. The rest are just torture porn. See, the first Saw movie is great, because, like, spoilers for the first Saw movie, I guess, is, like, the guy behind it is literally, like, laying in the background the entire movie. Like, pretending to be a dead body on the ground.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah, the first Saw movie is more, like, psychological fucked up. Like, there's still torture and all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the worst thing is they try to, like, saw their legs off. It's like, that's the worst
not
thing.
that bad.
Yeah. What is your point, right? That the case was not... that the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all? Objection, bitch.
No, think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else.
Yes, that's right. She did She did... Why can I not read that word? She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It had no bearing on this case at all.
That may very well be. However, the empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? What was inside the guitar case?
It seems that there is no deeper meaning to this the guitar case. Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar case?
Make her testify. The empty guitar case... I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle.
I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this, but it is you.
People doing this either.
Alright, I'll follow along, for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar case. Yes, Your Honor. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know.
That is what I need to push her on.
It looks like this really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting.
So you like hearing me talk, Edgeworth? Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination.
Using any way to change the topic, a convenient escape for a weak man.
What is
Hey,
this?
keep that phrase in mind. Let's see if Edgeworth says that at some point.
This is just like, this has devolved into a domestic spat.
It really has.
Like, that is something I can easily imagine them arguing with each other about over, like, groceries or some shit like that. Was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body?
Dazed and Confused, my favorite song. Yes, that's probably it.
I'm not gonna get anywhere if I continue. Sorry. I'm not gonna get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. Yeah,
Come on, Phoenix, we can't afford to let up on her now.
I wasn't planning on letting up, but...
She's at her weakest now, so this is our chance.
Yeah, if we had a weapon to hit her with.
I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court. Go add the thing. Sorry, I could not read. My stupid... Something popped up. I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record, waiting to be found.
Should I just try going straight for... Actually, wait. Yes. The case was empty. I don't think the case was empty. Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still in... Not the guitar!
How long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention. Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright.
Sorry.
Sorry. It's his ADHD acting up, don't be mean to him.
No.
Just open the case.
So you opened the guitar case then?
Yes, well, maybe.
Why'd you open the guitar case?
Huh?
Mr. Kurita's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think that the first thing you would do is call for help, not open a guitar case.
As the witness has said multiple times, when she found the dead body, she was dazed.
Maybe... Oh.
Maybe... It's me, bitch. Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it.
Why would she care about the bright red guitar?
But getting back on topic. Oh wait, that's before I opened the case. I don't know if I'll make it. Open the guitar case after.
I think this is the only thing I haven't pressed on, then I'll start trying to figure out what evidence to use. During your testimony just now, did you remember those events clearly in your mind?
Well, you see...
Are you sure you're the one who opened the guitar case?
She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not.
Sounds like her dependent side is taking over.
Well, Miss Andrews? Yes, it was me. After I knocked the vase over. Hold on, go back to the crime scene photo.
There has to be something... Alright, let's look at the evidence. Not this. Not this.
Can we just present this? Be like, please, can we just get her found guilty so Maya doesn't die?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you didn't finish looking at shit.
Well, no, I'm just thinking... Maybe there was a radio transceiver inside the guitar case telling her to do it. I don't know. The camera around you got. This has nothing to do with the current thing. A map.
Hold on, wait. Oh, wait, no. Her fingerprints weren't on it.
Yeah, true. Absolutely, yep. Okay, so we got
yeah, go back to the I opened, yeah.
There we go. It helps to look at the evidence, huh?
Yeah, your fingerprints weren't on it.
There's no way you were the one who opened the guitar case.
Why would you say that?
It's elementary, my dear.
Nice Herlock Sholmes
Nice
reference.
Herlock Sholmes reference, huh? Because the only fingerprints on this guitar case are those of the victim.
Ah! I love her fucking turquoise pants.
I know.
What is it, Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume that I must have left prints just because I touched the case.
What do you mean?
What do you... Oh, Phoenix, sorry. What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time? Gloves? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the awards ceremony. So of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, it seems the witness was wearing gloves at the scene of the crime.
That's strange.
That's strange.
You're wearing gloves. Isn't that a little strange?
Why is that strange? Do you have something proving that do you have something that would prove that I was not wearing gloves at the time? Yeah, bitch, the juice.
Oh, nope.
Hello, Maya.
I have your proof
We just
right
pull
here. This wine glass.
We just pull out a picture of Maya and just start
Yeah.
crying. The wine glass?
You left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass.
Ah,
Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case?
ah.
Her gla-
Oh my god. Oh, there we go. I was about to say her glasses fucking exploded. Order! 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 It looks like you hit the nail on the head this time.
What do you mean?
I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here.
But it's just an empty case.
I wonder if it really was empty, though.
But the guitar! The bright red guitar was at the studio.
Phoenix, drop all of your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar.
We know this. You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either.
Oh, Phoenix. I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case... Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactics at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us into his and lull us all into his misguided.
No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. However, it is wide open in the photo of the crime scene. I am sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder.
If you are so sure, right? Then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please, enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright?
Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case.
The bright red guitar not being the only thing.
Wow, you can put things inside of a guitar case that aren't guitars.
No way! So, you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty. Is that it, right?
I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove.
Deflate that head of yours. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder?
We only lose 1 bar. I'm gonna try this.
It was Celeste Impacts.
Well, no, I think it's her suicide note.
Her dead body.
I think it's her suicide note. I'm gonna give this a shot, and then I'll ask you for help. I was right!
No.
Nope. Why'd the thing go away? Rude. Alright, what is it actually? Hello? Wait, what was that? Hello? Phoenix, you saying, can a foolish fool get some love?
Yeah.
Phoenix, you're not hiding your crush. You're not hiding your crush very well. Alright, what was actually inside the case?
Shit, I know what it is, but I'm trying to think, like, what you present.
To lead to it?
Yeah, go to the profile? No, cat, stop! She's about to step on my mouse. No, stop. You're about to click on something you're not supposed to. Alright, go back to the evidence. Go back to the picture of the Nickel Samurai. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be like a spare suit or an extra costume. So I think presenting that would work.
There you go.
Hey, there we go. This is a photograph. Look at this photograph.
Yes, what's important is what was in that picture, Your Honor.
In this picture.
It doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I'm proposing is...
I'm proposing to Edgeworth.
inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume.
Oh, what?
How the fuck am I supposed to get to that?
Yeah, that one's kind of bullshit.
Like, how the fuck am I supposed to get to that conclusion?
You gotta think like Phoenix. Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Right. Are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that?
That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews?
I refuse to accept your theory. Sorry, I love the Steel Samurai theme so much. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea?
Just through the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct?
You mean this photo? Order! Order! It looks like we've wandered into quite another mess again, haven't we? Nice job, Phoenix.
Well, you know my strategy.
Well,
Speak
okay.
first, think later.
So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume. I hate having to yawn. Well, wait 1 second, Your Honor. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been matte and guards. Why would something of the defendant's be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places. True. That is a little baffling. Mr. Wright, the court would like to hear your thoughts. What was the Nickel Samurai costume doing inside the guitar case?
It would have to be a spare costume.
Yeah, because Ungard was still wearing his.
Mr. Ungard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we are talking about was a spare one.
What? Then, are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 Nickel Samurai costumes here at the Gatewater Hotel? 2 of them.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
How do you explain the costume and what was inside the guitar case? Or that was inside the guitar case. It would mean that the victim himself had brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose. So Kurita brought the spare costume.
Yeah. I'm thinking he was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai for the after show thing and say
for the conference and like ruin his reputation or something.
Yeah.
But why? The victim, Mr. Kurita, was the Gemin Ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai spare costume with him? What could be— Ah!
What? Are you just hitting your tattoo?
I was stretching and I just scraped my nails across my tattoo.
Oh! I still have to make
Owie.
appointments to get mine touched up.
Oh, that hurts so bad.
Yeah, I can imagine you got that like 2 days ago.
I got it Friday. What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act?
And therein lies the sticking point.
What are you mumbling to yourself about now?
I love the unhinged Edgeworth strike.
I need a sticker of that just to like stick on my laptop.
That is, I
Just to
can
stare.
guarantee you someone has a sticker of that at a convention. Hey, speaking
I
of which,
need-
we need to go to a convention.
I need sweaty, uncomfortable Edgeworth. Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner monologue?
Huh? No, I just...
Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. I love both of their, like, sweaty, uncomfortable sprites.
I
It's
know.
so funny. Why do you think the victim had the Nickel Samurai spare costume?
Cringe fail for cringe fail relationship.
It really is. They're both embarrassing. Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? Think carefully before you answer, and then answer with gusto. I believe in you.
Alright, this is
I
what I
love you.
think.
I love you, Mia.
The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai spare costume to the hotel was the conference. Go.
What is that? What is this?
On the night of the murder, after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference.
Press conference?
Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess to something at this at this conference.
I heard about this as well. For once, you're not making something up, alright?
But what struck me as strange was that Mr. On Guard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night.
But how can that be?
The way I see it, that can only mean only one thing. The conference was set up by none other than the victim, Mr. Juan Kurita himself.
The victim?
Yes. The spare Nickel Samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Kurita was going to hold the press conference as the Nickel Samurai.
He was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai and hold a conference? Well, why would the victim do such a thing?
That's something I don't quite know yet, however. What I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference.
The Nickel Samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which... Oh, that's Phoenix.
Which means that Juan Kurita, posing as the Nickel Samurai, was going to speak about Matt on guard.
Yes, that... Oh my god. Cat, how did you get... Hold on. Angelo, how did you get all these papers out and sit there? That's not... No.
Is that your Star
Okay.
Set shirt?
One of them, yes.
One of them.
But if that's the case, that's not a confession, that's public disclosure.
The semantics don't matter.
No. But Miss Andrews, I can see why you are pros at what you do. Pardon me? Yes, just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that would also be me. Ew. Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought. That's what he thought anyway. He was going to ruin him, huh? It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed.
What?
And do you know what the secret of Mr. Unguard's is, Miss Andrews? That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is. Ah, I see. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone. But that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt, after all.
But protect Mr. On Guard.
And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could, please tell us the truth about your behavior. Yes, Your Honor, I understand. Cat, be nice. Stop. Sorry, my cats are killing each other. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder.
So
Well-
she's absolutely framing him. At first I thought it may have been like someone else was framing, but like she's absolutely throwing him under the bus and framing him now.
Mm. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the button and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt I had to protect him. This does account for everything. Well, I am the logical type. We're finally seeing her true self. She is more nervous than a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault with this testimony, I am ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind as you cross-examine Mr. Wright.
Looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale again. That just means I have to put my weight into this and turn her logic upside down. So just say this need came from the press conference?
Yes, do you know why Juan chose that event in that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved mat and guard. And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews? Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume.
But I'm sure Mr. Ungard himself didn't know anything about the press conference.
Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference?
Anyway, the important thing here is that this information was not in your testimony.
Yes, I agree, Miss Andrews. Please correct your testimony, if you please. Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright?
God dang it. Has Mr. Ungard done something to hurt or betray you personally?
Why do you ask?
You were the one who helped Mr. Carita with his press conference. And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. Ungard, yet you still helped out.
Person on trial right now is Mr. Ungard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our concern. In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill.
Why do I keep doing this to myself? But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. Ungard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so you could cover for Mr. Ungard?
I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time. I keep trying, but I can find no flaws in what Miss Andrews has said. I can't say the same for some people in this courtroom, however.
The judge is glaring straight at Mia.
He's glaring at you, smart guy.
You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be a clever camouflage.
Then what about the button?
The button.
It's clear from the crime scene that the victim and his murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped off the button from the Jamming Ninja's costume. You're talking about this button, correct? That button was found in the pleats of Matt's hakama, isn't that correct? I would think that makes it very decisive evidence.
Ugh.
It looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright.
Anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony.
I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat.
Thank goodness Mia can still look at me.
With an icy stare, yes. Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony.
Now, how do you know that?
When the ends of the thread on the costume and the when the ends of the threads on the button and the costume were matched up, they were found to fit together perfectly, or so I heard.
I've heard that before too. Why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail?
Don't look at me like that, just because I'm prepared and you are not.
Again, I thought I had her this time for sure. If there's anything to trip her up on, it has to be here. But where and what? What you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? And at the worst possible time.
Who's to say that she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it?
This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. On Guard at any time. Why then would she wait until there was a large audience? Why then would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Kurita planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Mr. On Guard as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will towards the defendant.
This isn't the Phoenix Wright Wax Philosophical Power Hour. And please, stop slandering the witness. Phoenix.
Oh, as I expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Sorry, I thought it was Mia.
Really? Because to me, it sounds a little wishy-washy.
Wishy-washy? Well, I guess we'll see if I press a little more.
You should know this by now. But you'll need strong, decisive evidence to make her talk.
Got it, Chief. I'm gonna pin you down this time, Miss Andrews. Alright, so what do we think? What do we think it is?
I
mean, this is the one thing I haven't pressed her on yet, so I'll just press her on this first. But while we're thinking. While we're thinking. But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. On Guard was taking a nap in his room? Are you telling me now that that too was a lie so you can cover for Mr. On Guard?
I'm not telling you anything of the sort.
Oh, we already got this. This is what I meant to press on. Would you say that was your intuition speaking to you?
Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own.
Yeah.
If you want to prove that someone did something, you need 3 things.
3 things?
A motive, an opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. And if you think these 3 things through, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix.
They didn't teach that to us in school, at least not from what I remember.
May I continue now?
Alright, so what do we got? What is our evidence to throw at her?
Let's scroll through and didn't have an alibi for his doing at the time of the murder. That button
It's
was
some of
torn
the button.
off. Yeah. Can you present the button to the button statement or? Oh wait.
Yeah?
He was strangled to death, right? Not like in a fight.
Yeah.
He was like strangled from behind or something like that, right?
Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. I mean,
If you're strangling someone, they're gonna fight.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, just...
I'll present both this and in the button. I've saved already, so. Oh, you're right.
Oh, fuck yeah.
This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf.
Strangulation?
The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died.
And what does that mean?
Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off the costume when?
After the knife was stabbed into the victim.
Exactly, which means it is impossible this button was torn off during the victim's final struggle.
Because there'd be no blood on it.
The victim was strangled to death in that fight. That's what I thought. I knew the blood on the button was weird.
Ah.
That's right, Miss Andrews. Because the thing is, we already knew the button was planted. So, I mean, that's why it has the blood on it. So my brain just kind of ignored that part. There's no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off the victim's already dead body.
His cold dead corpse.
His cold dead corpse.
What is the meaning of this, right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? What does that change?
Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose did that serve?
What purpose?
We now know this button was not torn off during the fight. So the murderer took their time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it?
Mr. Wright, does this mean?
I mean, to pin the crime on guard.
Yeah.
There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. For a split second, I thought it said Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth, we're getting implicated for crime again.
Again. There's no way anyone would put a bloody button in their own pants. That's right, Mr. On Guard was set up. By the real killer, of course.
Dick killer. And the real murderer is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer, then?
Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point.
Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end.
The real killer, the person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard, is... Adrian Andrews.
Adrian Andrews.
Miss Adrian Andrews. I choose you.
Pokemon.
Pokemon. You are Mr. Kurita's killer.
What? Order! 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 Mr. Wright. This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge?
Any evidence? All the evidence points to Miss Andrews.
How preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me.
I can't, can I? Would you care to test me?
Then what about this knife?
The knife was used to stab the victim after he had already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion on Mr. On Guard, naturally. A knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room. And the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you.
Tisk. Then... What about the button that was found in Matt's Hakama?
This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there's no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Hakama. The only person who could have put this button into Mr. Ungar's Hakama is the person who went to wake him from his nap, which is you yet again, Miss Andrews.
I see. What about the empty guitar case?
That is also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. The costume used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. What is with that face?
She's thinking.
Now, who could have known that there was such a costume inside the guitar case? It could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. Kitty.
Gibby. No, I... But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. That's right.
Why are you sitting on my fucking hand?
Cat.
Yes. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open it. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposely left her fingerprints on the glass to show that yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body.
Ah.
And to top it all off, there's this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on Earth can believe that... God! No reasonable person on Earth can believe that this nickel samurai is Mr. On Guard. He'd be much too short for his own costume if it was him.
Exclamation point.
Speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short in stature, are you not?
Can't just call her short. Please, stop.
Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time.
Miss Andrews? I refuse to testify.
What was that?
There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. Well, yes. You're absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination. By allowing a witness not to testify, the testimony can cause damage to themselves.
What?
How do you not know that, Phoenix?
Pleading the fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. No, you usually plead the fifth before. Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. On Guard's room.
Oh, hold on, Karma. Adrian Andrews. Yes? Think hard about what we just discussed. Understood.
So Von Karma told her to plead the fifth.
Von Karma said women's rights.
Von Karma said women's rights to commit wrongs.
I support women's rights and women's wrongs. Alright.
That's it. That's when Francesca planted this idea into her head. She also told Miss Andrews not to testify if things look bad.
You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there's still one thing you haven't done.
Something I haven't done?
What's wrong, right? Are you finished already? We're out of evidence.
He's like, I gave you your evidence.
Well, that's so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. But everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless.
What?
Everything you have proven is circumstantial.
Circumstantial?
Yes, circumstantial. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Kurita. But Miss Andrews, did you really want to kill Mr. Kurita? I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering. But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? Maybe so, or maybe not. There is nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty. I would be guilty of due to my silence.
Hello, Phoenix Wright in chat. Sorry, I didn't see your message earlier.
Phoenix.
Phoenix Wright with an O. This is the third Phoenix Wright character chat name that we've had.
Let's go.
No, she's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do?
Somehow, we've landed in the worst possible situation. I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adrian Andrews has refused to testify. And the defense's theory that she is the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid definitive proof.
But that's not true!
In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do. And that is to declare a recess.
Recess?
I request that both the prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial.
Tomorrow? Oh god. We don't have a tomorrow. If we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then... Please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. I keep running over my fucking cord.
Hate it when that happens.
The trial. Please continue the trial.
What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he?
That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then my, Edgeworth's like, wait, what the fuck?
Question mark?
My not necessarily sister-in-law?
But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is... Edgeworth. It is not impossible for this trial to continue. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you? It's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that is very true, but... Actually, there is one little thing that I'm curious about. Miss Andrews. ... When you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and? I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want you to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out in this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. I don't know what it is about Edward today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know.
He's Edgeworth. He's everything.
You don't know him like I do. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request. Mr. Andrews, if you please. That glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something, so I went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. But he has a knife sticking out of his body.
I know.
So you poured that glass of juice for the victim. Why didn't you say so in your earlier testimony? I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. Phoenix, please be careful here. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left.
I know. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours?
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Six stepping, my beloved. Alright. I think immediately I'm gonna press. Not press. I meant to present, but sure, I'll press. Slumped
Present
over.
the
The
photo.
photo, yeah.
Yes, he was just sitting there with his head tilted forward, eyes closed. He really looked like he was sleeping.
It's just me who did that right there sound a little odd. Yeah.
Me when I sleep with a knife sticking out of my chest.
And to hit present. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him?
No, not at all.
Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body?
Ah. Well, what is the meaning of this?
Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking straight out of Mr. Kurita's chest. Anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought that here was a dead man.
That's, well, you see...
I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted. And then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink.
Your point is?
Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie.
Ugh.
And your lie has proven one thing very clearly.
Phoenix.
That you are the real killer. I was getting a drink.
No! It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light.
I love how you cut out so you just went, no! Oh! Oh!
No! No! The defendant, Mr. Mattengard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible. You're wrong. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me, I tell you. It was Matt, I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan.
But you were the one who refused to testify. And your reason for not doing so is that you might end up incriminating yourself.
That's because... Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? I refuse to testify. Then there is no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Mattengard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated.
Is it over? Have we found the truth at last?
What's wrong, Phoenix?
We didn't use all of our evidence.
It's fine, don't worry about it.
Well, usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't.
Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Mattengard. It doesn't matter if she's guilty or not. Damn you, Edgeworth. Your Honor. The prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time.
Maybe it wasn't her. Maybe it was the killer.
What? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth. The absolute real truth? What are you? Witness, don't you understand yet? Uh-huh. I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head. But as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Mattengard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party. That's a lie. I don't believe you. What? I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over, and Matt would never be declared guilty.
I wonder if Matt had something to do with Impax's suicide.
I
Like,
wonder.
unintentionally.
I wonder.
What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it?
I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. It's Franziska von Karma.
Huh?
Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of others. Of another. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself.
Then, right now, Miss Andrews is...
Yesterday, she was tossed a lifesaver by Miss von Karma. Don't say a word no matter what happens. If you do, Mattengard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging to them.
Then what should we do? This is the first time I've ever come across anything like this. But Miss Andrews has to be the killer, right? All we have to do now is get her not guilty. That's my only priority.
It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Help, please. Someone help me. Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
The court can't continue like this, so therefore I'd like to hear what you intend to do.
What I intend to do? Well, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say?
Right. I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think about who the real mastermind behind this crime.
Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one who can be except the woman crying over here, right?
Come on. What will you do? What kind of man are you, Phoenix Wright?
I mean, I have to force her to testify.
Yeah.
Because the killer is obviously the killer. She was latching onto what he told her to do. I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making a face like that. Miss Andrews, I would like to know what you are really hiding.
Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Sure, Mr. Garwood would get acquittal, but in his case, you'd be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end?
Be quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me. That's enough. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this. However... Well, what is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. Stop. Mr. Edgeworth? This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. What? Jesus, Edgeworth is
Yeah, I know, just
the
come out
court.
right out front and say it.
Because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. Stop, please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. Ah, that's...
That's the second part of the suicide report. The attempted suicide report.
What will you do now, witness?
Throws your own suicide report in your face. What are you gonna do about it, bitch?
What are you gonna do about it, bitch? You do know what I am about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrian Andrews. Jesus, Edgeworth.
The secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world.
Please, please stop. I beg you. If people find out, I'll... Oh, this
what,
fucking
kill
line
yourself?
from Edgeworth. This Edgeworth line is incredible. If you say you would choose death, that is of no concern to me.
Jesus,
Edgeworth really said, kill yourself, I don't care.
Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? I mean, to be fair also, isn't her taking the guilty verdict kind of the same thing as just
Yeah.
a very convoluted way of her committing suicide?
Yeah.
He's trying to stop that from happening.
However, before you die, I will pill the truth from your still breathing lips.
Jesus, man.
I love you, Edgeworth. You're such a bad bitch. No matter what I have to do.
He says, I will get you to admit your innocence, even if you die.
It's like, you stupid bitch.
I am trying to help you.
You dumb bitch, you will not take the fall for a crime you did not do. So, will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. I'll talk, but please, help me.
I just fucking realized, switch out her hair color for blue, and she is the exact same as my fucking VTuber model. And, like, that is my real-life hair color. What the fuck?
Well, I can't believe you're actually Adrian Andrews.
I can't believe I'm actually Adrian Andrews with dependency issues.
Nothing matters anymore.
That's the opposite. I just don't trust anybody.
When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. When I realized he was dead, that's when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then I stabbed Juan's dead body with a knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. To stab the body with a knife? But why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man. Well, what do you mean by all this? What do you mean by that? It might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt, that scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him.
So he's the reason Impact committed suicide.
He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time.
Last time?
So, Miss Andrews stabbed the victim Juan Carita in the chest with the knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt and Guard for the murder. And this is her crime.
What? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer?
Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. I think you just have to press her and everything.
An inconvenience.
There was a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway.
I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta. My spikes.
There's also a woman with a ray gun that was readily pacing back and forth.
That's Miss Old Bag for you. I was just realized, has Phoenix's hair gotten gray? His hair was brown, wasn't it?
No, it's always been
like gray?
I think it's supposed to be black. It's just like the lighting.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So okay, I probably thought it was brown then because it was darker and different lighting.
No, I think you're just insane. It's always been that color.
No, it hasn't. I swear to God.
I think the only thing is I think in some games his eye color changes. I think in some of the games he has like gray eyes. Some of them he has blue eyes.
Bluish gray.
Or like I think like one of the games he has like brown. I don't know. Like all I know is like his eye color is kind of inconsistent.
That's fun.
I'd already been caught and made into I had already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once. So I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again.
You were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you?
Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the awards ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is the secret? That I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the Nickel Samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume.
I don't want to concede, but this testimony, it rings of the truth.
I'm sorry, Phoenix.
No, please don't apologize to me. We were both taken by surprise.
Still, I'm sorry.
Alright, yeah, let's press her on everything and then we'll look for... There's no evidence, but maybe we can just find more details.
Yeah.
Because this is the truth. But you could tell from the state the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling the truth when you say that you did not know he was dead?
He had a scarf tied around his neck. But that scarf is part of the gym and ninja's costume, so... I didn't think it was anything. I didn't think anything about it was strange. His head was. I can't speak today, apparently. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up and went to pour the juice.
What's this plan you had?
I knew right away that the murderer was Matt. I knew because, one, he was going to expose Mac's weakest point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good.
I don't think Matt knew. Like, whatever Matt did, I feel like he doesn't realize the gravity of whatever it was.
That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin this crime on Matt. So the forged piece of evidence for the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. Once I made sure there was no... Oh, okay.
We don't need
Yeah,
to read her
I know.
backstory. That was to get the knife, correct?
The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought that if I used that, then the police would certainly turn their eyes towards him.
Also, Matt is here listening to all this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned to the scene of the crime. I don't know why her face in that art makes me laugh. She's just standing there like,
What am I gonna do? So you're the one to stab the victim with that knife.
It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. He was already dead, it's fine.
Yeah.
But at the time, I couldn't control my own body. It moved on its own. Then, when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I use the button somehow, I can make Matt look even more suspect. So you thought to rip one of the buttons off and plant it in Mr. Ungard's Hakama. Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? I think we've heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. Ungard's room and planted the button. Into Matt's Hakama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. But my word, what does all this mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt Ungard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk.
Francesca, huh?
She said that I should under no circumstances confess what I had done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer.
Wait, Your Honor. The defense still...
Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. There's no single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. This cross-examination of the witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright.
But
Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. Does the prosecution have to do that?
Listen, Ace Attorney Bizarro World.
Yeah, I know, but that is all. Today's court is adjourned for today.
Well, we already know Maya escaped.
But, I mean, Phoenix
doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Depressed Phoenix.
Oh.
Today's trial. It's over. I didn't win an acquittal.
Witness, would you mind if I asked you something?
Edgeworth?
Immediately shoots up at Edgeworth's voice. It's like, Edgeworth. What is it? Before you leave court today, I wonder if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for some time now, or for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked me about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remembered just now. I found this in the room on that day. Ooh.
The room? The room where it happens.
Shut up! No Hamilton.
No Hamilton allowed.
No Hamilton around. Get that shit out of here. That day. Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him.
You found that card next to the victim's body?
I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right?
Yeah, I guess not. But it's still a strange card, if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why, because we don't know what Maya knows.
Witness, that card. Give it to me. Hurry.
Edgeworth?
Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This. I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. What is all this about?
I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. That card. What in the world is it? What does it mean? To be continued.
To be continued.
Do you want to continue? Do you want to stop here?
I gotta go buy groceries and stuff,
Alright.
so...
We'll stop here on a
Probably.
cliffhanger.
On a cliffhanger, Edgeworth flipped his shit out.
Flipped his shit over a card.
But hey, didn't Maya find one of those cards in the basement she was locked in?
Exactly. Jeez, I wonder how that relates. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Bye!